Good morning. The recording is a 2-7 worksheet. I thought I recorded it before, but I lost it. So this morning we'll be taking these proportions we see and creating an equation. So we're going from a proportion to an equation. And to do that, we cross multiply. So we multiply 5 times 9 first, and then we multiply 6 times x. So we multiply these two numbers, 6 and x, and 9 and 5. So we get 6x equals 9 times 5. Or 6 times x equals 9 times 5. So 6x equals 45. And divide by 6 gives us x equals now 45 sixths is really 7.5. All right, so you have to look at the proportion, create an equation, and then solve the equation. Number 2, we look at this cross product and we get 12 times b is equal to negative 4 times 13. Divide by 12, and we get b is equal to, well, let's see, negative 4 times 13 is negative 52. Now, negative 52 twelfths, you can do a couple of things with that. You can divide 12 into 52 and get a decimal. You can reduce this, divide them both by 3, or 4, and you get 13 thirds negative, or you could write it as 4 and 0.3 repeating, or 4 and 1/3, or 4 and 1/3. Negative. All right, I gotta shut my door. All right, so that's the answer for number 2. Now, moving on, we kind of do the same thing here for 3 and 4, where we get an equation that is 5 times x equals 9 times 15, or 5 times x, 5 times x, come on. What the heck happened there? Didn't want that, so take care of that. All right. Let's see. Okay. So I don't know what happened there. Anyway, the equation I get is 5x is equal to, well, 9 times 15, I think, is 135. And dividing both sides by 5, x equals, well, 135 divided by 5, I think, is 27. Okay, so that one is not a fraction. That's good. All right, this one looks like it might be a fraction answer. So 6 times 4 is equal to negative 5 times a. So negative 5 times a equals 6 times 4. Negative 5 times a equals 24. Many students will just go to this step here. And then dividing both sides by negative 5, a is equal to negative 4.8, you can write, or a couple of other things, okay? So that's what we get there. And moving on now, we notice that 5 and 6 are a little different than 3 and 4 because they have 2 terms here. So we put parentheses around them, so we see that this w plus 3 is like one piece, one grouped term divided by 4. So we still follow the same process, only this time the equation might take another step or two. So we get 4w equals 2 times w plus 3. This whole group gets written there. Now we have to, I'm going to change my color to blue just because for a little change up there. We have to use the distributive property. We get 4w is equal to 2w plus 6 for that. And then we subtract the 2w from both sides of the equal sign to get w by itself. Cancel out the 2w's on the right. And on the left is 2w, and on the right we have 6. So divide both sides by 2, cancel the 2's, w equals 3. All right, so that was a little different because of the group term. We do the same thing here. We get 3 times 2 is equal to 1 times w plus 1. Distribute it, well, we can distribute the 1, but we still get the same thing back. 6 equals w plus 1. And we subtract the 1, we get 5 equals, that's not a w, that's a y. All right? So every proportion becomes an equation. All right, moving on to the second page. Much of the same thing. Don't forget to group. You get 3 times x plus 13 equals negative 10. So 3 times x plus 13 is equal to negative 10. And you get 3x plus 39 equals negative 10. If I subtract 39, like I'm supposed to here, I get 3x equals negative 49. And divide by 3, divide by 3. Now x equals negative, I think negative 16 1/3. Okay, so the next problem is a little bit more complicated. We're going to get 3 parentheses 2a minus 6. That's what we get when we multiply these two. Equals 8 times a plus 2. And that's what we get when we multiply these two. Okay? So now we're going to solve this equation by distributing both the 3 and the 8. So 6a minus 18 on the left, 8a plus 16 on the right. Now, subtracting the 8a from both sides is the first step. And then the second step would be to write down what I have. Subtract the 8, or add the 18. Cancel, and I get negative 2a equals, this is 36, or 34. Divide both sides by negative 2. Which room I have here. A is then equal to negative 17. All right, so that's that one, and then we have a couple of word problems here that require proportions. So the word problem says a florist is making centerpieces. He uses 24 roses for every 3 centerpieces. Let me squeeze it in there a little bit. Every 3 centerpieces. How many dozens of roses will he need to make 12 centerpieces? So this is a proportion here, and this is written out like this: 24 roses, so you can kind of abbreviate a little bit, gives us 3 centerpieces. All right, now that's set up to equal how many dozens of roses, so x dozen over 12 centerpieces. So notice we keep the bottom, we keep the denominator ratio of the ratio the same item, and the numerator the same item. And that becomes a pretty easy equation to make, and it is 3x is equal to 24, or x equals 8, so 8 dozen roses. All right, last problem on the worksheet says if 6 pounds of pasta salad serves 15 people. Now right there, that's a ratio. It's a fraction. And I can write it as 6 pounds pasta over 15 people. All right, so this is equal to, now let's see what we have. How much pasta salad should you bring to a picnic with 60 people? So that proportion would be here. Again, we're going to take and make sure we put the people on the top. All right, and the pounds of pasta on the numerator and the people in the denominator. So this question says, how much pasta should you bring with 60 people? So it's the 60 goes down here. People. And then X pounds of pasta, all right, LB. All right, so then that's a pretty easy proportion. You're going to solve it using 15x equals 6 times 60, or 15x is equal to 360, and divide by 15 on both sides, and you get x equals 360 divided by 15, 25, 24? 24. No, yeah, 24, so I think so. Let me double check the computer, the calculator on my cell phone. So 360 divided by 15, 24. 24 what? 24 pounds of pasta. LB's pasta. Pasta salad. Okie dokie artichoke. All right, have a good day, everybody. Peace out.